it is not our interest to be a supply side educational industry where we create some programs and hope that it's what you need, right? We really want to be a demand-driven institution that's creating programs that are really in lockstep alignment with the skills that are needed in industry today, and also with the hiring cycles that you're experiencing now. So we know that another, kind of piece of this puzzle is, are you hiring entry level like crazy? Are you focused on upskilling incumbent workers? Those are two very different training programs that we might offer, and we want to make sure that we're offering the correct things at the right time. That's something, again, I'll come back to the semiconductor industry. If you're watching and hearing all the headlines, it might feel like, oh, they're hiring a ton right now. That's not true, right? All of these companies are super invested in upskilling right now, taking those incumbent workers, preparing them for the next level. And that entry level hiring craze will come, right? And we'll be ready for it because we're in close communication with those industry partners. That's the kind of partnership that we really strive to have across different industries. So in your industry, if you don't have that kind of partnership with your community college just yet, and especially if it's ACC, that's your community college, let us know, because we want to get there. And then just in terms of how to get in touch with ACC, we are a massive institution, as I said at the very top of this session. But you can find us through the Office of Strategic Initiatives. That's me. As Kristie said, we also often serve as connectors, right? If we are not the ones to provide the service or give you the specific consultation you need, we can absolutely find the right person.
Awesome. Again, I just want to highlight everything they said is how, and especially for how I sit and do my job, could not do it without them. So especially Paul and his team talking about the externship program, all the apprenticeship opportunities that they're doing for the region. Kristie talking about the upskilling, so small business, the internship challenge that we talked about is another extremely helpful tool. And then Laura, with everything y'all are doing at ACC, is just helping so much for our local employers. I even round up, but centrally just get the tools they need. Just so everything that y'all are doing is extremely helpful in helping us to build that workforce that we need. So thank y'all. We do have a few minutes for opening up to Q&A. So I just want to give that opportunity if anyone has to submit questions for the panelists. Now's your time. I don't know if we have a mic, so I might just need to project, but we'll help to project the question out. So any questions for the panelists?
I've got a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
So we talked a lot about the workforce we have already and training them. Do you have any resources for getting new employees and attracting different talent in different ways?
So, that's one of the roles for the Workforce Board, is to make sure that we understand what occupations are in demand and that we're working with our educational partners to ensure that they're delivering that message to students coming out of the K through 12 institutions, coming out of higher ed, so that they can flow from their educational role right into the workforce. So one of the ways that I think business can engage with the educational community is to join the CTE advisory boards in your area. So the career and technical education advisory boards that every school district has. They want to hear from employers on what do you as an employer want us to teach the kids while they're in school today, and what skills do they need to have to come out and be a productive member of your organization when they leave that institution? What certifications do they need post high school to be employable by you, and so that they can thrive in your environment? That's one way to do it. But happy to talk to you further about any other opportunities as well. Career awareness is a big deal. Making sure that kids and their parents understand what it's like to be in the skilled trades, what it's like to work in advanced manufacturing. I mean, we're not talking about a steel mill in Pittsburgh where we're pouring molten steel out of a big vat into molds. I mean, we're in a climate-controlled environment, wearing a clean suit, producing a very sophisticated product that makes our whole world go around. And it's getting people to understand what that career really looks like, and how to obtain the skills that they need to participate in that career, and what their life could look like once they decide that's the career for them. Where do they go? I mean, if I'm talking to an 18-year-old young man who's trying to decide what he wants to do with the rest of his life, and I know he wants an F-250 pickup truck and he wants an $80,000 bass boat, I'm probably gonna talk to him about being a plumber, because that's probably the fastest path to that kind of lifestyle.
Yep.
But there's a lot of, lifestyle is one way to help kids understand what jobs can do for them, and why they would want to look at plumbing or electrical or HVAC or advanced manufacturing or healthcare or you name it. We are very fortunate that we're in an environment that is opportunity rich. You can do almost anything you want to do within I'd say 30-mile radius of where we're sitting right now. You could participate in just about every occupation that there is. So find what you like, pick it. Let us help you figure out what that path looks like, and then let's get you connected to that employment opportunity.
I would also talk about different talent pipelines that maybe not a little out of the norm. So second chance, veterans, folks with disabilities, kids who are aging out of the foster care system. There's a lot of opportunity to create a whole different talent pipeline to tap into that ACC also works very closely with getting folks trained for that. Texas Workforce Commission has its third annual, I won't call it annual, but its third GRACE conference, and that is essentially talking to employers about second chance opportunities and how you can get into that space, tap into that talent pipeline, get those folks trained, and make changes for the state overall.
Isn't there a foster youth conference going on in San Marcos
Yes,
right now?
right now.
Yeah, and I think
I saw it on social. There's a fly.
to echo what Paul said, right? I think a big part of it is exposure, right, and helping students, younger people figure out what some of these different occupations are, aligning to the lifestyle they desire. One of the things that we have at our central campus at Highland at ACC is the Make It Center. So this is kind of partnered with the Make It movement. But it is a 10,000 square foot career exploration space. It has hands-on displays for all different occupations that align to programs that ACC offers, but ones that are perhaps a little more unknown to our students. So there are some manufacturing displays where they get to kind of operate a robot. There are some healthcare displays. We have a truck driving simulator. We have all kinds of VR experiences in this space. And really the vision for the space is to bring in busload after busload of middle school kids, get them exposed, and then create kind of some programming over the course of the rest of their time in K-12 where they can come back and say, hey, you came last time and you were really interested in healthcare. Let's go a little deeper in that, or let's take you to the Health Science Simulation Center this time and focus on that. Or you are interested in manufacturing and let's take you into the Impact Lab and have you 3D print something as a project today. So it's creating this opportunity to create exposure. We are bringing school kids in and having programming, but it's just also open to the public. So families can come in, kids can come in. Every time we give a tour, we are giving out cards like crazy because people want to come back with their kids. So it's really open to the community for anybody to come and explore what some of these careers are and get a sense of what might be interesting for them to pursue.
It's really cool. I've been through it a bunch of times, and they have drones, so I don't know how much cooler you can get.
We taught a camp of Girl Scouts last summer how to drive drones in our space, and I was like, "Can I be a Girl Scout for a day? Because I want to do that."
That's where I go when I want to try to figure out what I'm going to be when I grow up.
And it also we have a really lovely, it's like a kiosk, but it has that kind of lifestyle calculator where it says, like, what do you expect from your future lifestyle? How often do you want to eat out? Where do you want to live? What kind of house? What kind of car? And then it will spit out a list of here's what earnings you need to support that lifestyle, and here's some occupations that are aligned with that.
Yeah.
For Laura, expansion in Taylor, and I guess CT got gifted another 67 acre to do some collaboration with ACC and India, their technology champ.
So as far as we know, there are no specific plans that we're aware of for the UT space that's in Taylor. I can tell you that ACC does have a long-standing relationship directly with Samsung, and that we've been providing customized training for them for many years. We did.
I help with that.
Yes.
Money.
Exactly. Yes.
Money.
Yes, you do.
Okay, sorry.
So we've had that longstanding relationship. We do have currently an MOU with Texas Institute for Electronics, which is currently part of UT Austin and UT Austin as well, focused on developing a joint semiconductor training center. It's not necessarily at the UT land. There's no specific plan for that yet, but kind of an agreement that we would look into developing something together. And then also looking at educational pathways. So things like, what are some hands-on skilled training that we can provide to, for example, 4-year UT engineering students to give them an extra advantage as they enter into their profession, right? Kind of giving them that extra layer of skills. So those are things that we do have in the works, but I would say I'm not aware of any specific plans with the UT Land and Taylor specifically.
Just so you know, Temple College has a similar agreement with them, and we're working with them as well. Property.
I heard a rumor there's a meeting next week where they're going to talk about what they want to do out there, so just FYI.
Any other questions? All right. Well, I'll wrap up. But again, thank you all for taking the time. As y'all know, and also to hear from our analysts, Paul, Kristie, Laura, please reach out if you have any questions I want to discuss further. Paul and his team are in the room. Kristie had the booth in there. And Laura's also walking around. And also, please reach out to me. Email us, scott@roundrockchamber.org. Happy to help as much as I can, get you connected with the right people. Obviously, we're in a very good area, have a lot of great workforce resources. With our workforce solution dropout area, you could see APCs, Simple College, and Central Fletcher restriction as well. So anything that y'all need, please feel free to reach out. And again, just want to say a quick thank you to our panelists. So a quick sign up applause for our panelists. Thank you all for joining today. Thanks for coming. Hopefully it was helpful, and look forward to talking to you all soon. So thanks again. I'll do it myself in there.